Hi, this is a demo of exporting the notes in ACT from the notes area out to a CSV file. This is a demo database of ACT, and in the notes area for contacts, some of them have some contacts, so you have some long notes, some have short notes, some have multiple notes. So we're going to dump the notes out for the contacts, and we're going to not be worried about notes that were attached only to groups, opportunities, or companies. That would be an advanced export, and we'll cover that in a separate video. In order to export this easily just for the contacts only, you need to create a group. The group needs to be called Oak Merge Export, and in that group you want to have all the contacts that you want the notes for. So if it's a certain segment, fine. If it's everybody in the database, then just create a lookup that gets everybody. I use, for example, create date contains data. So all the records in this database will match this criteria. Create date contains data, so that matches everybody. So when you have this group, it will only export the notes for the contacts in this group. And that makes it very simple and easy to work with. So to fire up Oak Merge, we bring up Oak Merge for ACT, and I don't have any pre-recorded merges, so I click on Next in the lower right hand corner. I've already gone in here and hit Activate, so it's activated. There's a manual under best places under Support Folders, Documentation. You'll find the PDF manual. When it comes up, it remembers the last database you're in, the configuration. So I'm going to copy this database up to the top, and I'm going to change the bottom to delimited, because I want to go from ACT at the top, which is the source. The destination is delimited, so from ACT to delimited. And I'll call this notes demo. So I'm going to skip all these other options. They do some special things. You can look in documentation if you want to. We put notes here, both of these areas. From Notes ACT, get the schema for that. It brings everything in. There's one adjustment we need to make to this. Over here on the right side, the note text area, that's got a lot of RTF codes, and down here there's a transformation called transform RTF, or rich text format, to plain text. We want to do that on this note text field. Now these record that says link to company, contact, opportunity, in this merge we're doing, these aren't really going to be, these will all be blank columns. I could hit the X and get rid of these. The ones that I really want are the top two. I want to know what contact and contact GUID that this note was attached to. If it has a attachment, it'll show up. It'll also give you the ID number of this particular note. Okay, so we hit next. This is where we can run a validation merge just to see if we get any errors. In the lower right hand corner, I'll hit run. This is like a preview. It says, hey, if you do this, we're going to export 11 records. It says, warning, nothing was actually done because this is just a validation. Now, importantly, I'll go down here to the bottom and hit another run, lower right. And I could do the first 5 records. I could do the first 100 or 1,000 records, but I'll just say do them all. And full logging, I would not recommend. I would just do errors and warnings. If you have any problems, it'll tell you. And lower right hand corner, I'll just say run. So boom, it dumps them all out. So this says, hey, I found 11. So now in that particular folder, it created the demo CSV. And here it is. So here are the contacts with their GUIDs. And as I said, these would be empty because we didn't bring any links into company or records, but it shows you who the ACT user is, and here's the actual note, followed by the time, and if there were any attachments, etc. And the GUID is out at the very end, and that's just for that particular notes. Now, these notes right here have been changed to plain text, and if I spread them out, you can see that you start to see some of the text that's coming in. So these are up to the size of their CSV, so they're as big as you can go. I mean, Excel does 32,000 or maybe 64,000 now characters. But one thing to check for, when working with doing formulas and Access or some other databases, is they don't get cut off at 256 characters. And I can tell you, looking at these are not. These are 3,000 characters long. There's some big notes in here, so there you go. So there's a CSV dumped out of ACT into just the notes. Now you can do the same thing for history. And if you're interested in pulling notes that were connected to companies or opportunities or groups, I'm going to do a separate video next just for that. Thanks for watching.